Tourists are avoiding Florida like it has emotional herpes. Florida tourism is down, beach businesses are dying, and the people are somehow surprised about it. Come to Florida, where the sun burns your skin and the governor burns your identity. It's so politically toxic that even the alligators are switching parties.
There's a Trumper in Tampa who owns a construction company called Honest Hammer, and he is all upset because his workforce is being deported. Now, he makes the claim, like a lot of Trumpers who actually get affected by this make, and that is, that's not what I voted for. This is not what I voted for. I voted to get out the criminals. No, this is exactly what you voted for, and now you're feeling regrets because you are personally being affected. You did not care who got wrapped up in a mass deportation. That's exactly what they told you at the RNC. Mass deportation. That's exactly what Donald Trump said over and over again, was deport these people. He lumped them all together. There was never a bucket of criminals and everyone else. It was always an everyone else is a criminal. That's what it was, to brand every immigrant, legal or illegal, as a criminal. He did not care how hardworking these people were or how much they contributed to society.
In Florida, many Trump voters are facing a harsh new reality: rising costs, struggling businesses, and broken promises. The economic fallout is hitting hard, and frustration is growing. In this video, you'll hear real stories about people in Florida living through the turmoil and what it reveals about America today.
To our cover story and the summer travel slowdown. For weeks, we've been telling you about how major tourist destinations like New York City and Las Vegas are reporting significant drop-offs in visitors. And tourists and businesses here say they're seeing the same thing.
The summer swing never happened for us either.
I don't know if it's the hurricane, the economy, a mix of the two, but we've definitely been, everybody around here that I spoke to has been down about 30% this year.
So tonight, we are following through on businesses along Johns Pass Boardwalk who are hoping for a busy summer travel season after they suffered costly repairs following Hurricane Helene. According to Visit Tampa Bay, tourism numbers have been on par with recent years. However, ABC Action News reporter Blake Phillips is listening to those business owners who say that has not been the case for them.
So it is a ghost town.
For many along Johns Pass, business has been falling short.
It's the slowest year we've had since 2020.
Following Hurricane Helene, the damage kept businesses closed in some cases for over 2 months, and then for some, even longer.
And that's why I say we're blessed, because we were closed 10 weeks, which is a lot, right? And it hurt us a lot. But in comparison to some people, it's not. Because some people, like I said, are still not working and they're still out of jobs.
ABC Action News spoke with several different businesses along Johns Pass back along the 4th of July holiday week. And even then, they were hoping for a big summer boost to help cover the lost revenue and repair costs.
But this year, since the hurricane, it's been really bad, so it's really hard to tell.
Now, 1 month later, they tell me that just didn't happen.
Spring break really never happened for us. And then the summer swing never happened for us either. The kids locally just went back to school, I guess, this past week, and now it is just dead.
And low business is something almost everyone is feeling all along the boardwalk.
I don't know if it's the hurricane, the economy, a mix of the two, but we've definitely been, everybody around here that I spoke to has been down about 30% this year.
Visit Tampa Bay says hotel revenue so far this year is on par with some of the previous year's best. So, possibly a sign of things to come. And there was still some foot traffic like this family down here all the way from New England. Plan on coming back?
I hope so. It's a beautiful area. Yeah. Mm-hmm. It's great. The water's great. Yeah.
And now with most students in Florida gone back to school, much of the country going to follow suit. That last major travel chance for some of these businesses is Labor Day weekend. After that, it's dead season for them. So over the course of the next few months, they're going to be leaning really heavily on local foot traffic. For now, along Johns Pass, I'm Blake Phillips, ABC Action News.
I don't understand it either. It's not what I voted for. I voted for the criminals to be removed, 100%. But there are a lot of hardworking immigrants in this country that are building this country. Going back to when I started building the Hard Rock, 85% probably immigrants.
So this man is a Trump voter that owns a construction company in Florida. He doesn't see how they're going to replace all those people to keep construction going. And he said Donald Trump needs to find a way to quickly legalize all these people. Were you not paying attention when Donald Trump was campaigning to be president? Were you not paying attention to his first term? What about Donald Trump made you think he would legalize immigrants here that were working? You didn't vote for this. This is exactly what you voted for, because this is exactly what he said would happen. It's never been about getting rid of the criminals. It's never been about doing it the right way. I'll tell you what, midterms are going to be interesting. I'll say that. We'll see how many people actually regret that vote, or how many will continue to hurt themselves with their vote.
There's probably maybe 8 or 9 people in there. Almost every one of them homeless outside here. Almost every one of the people in the single million are homeless. At 95%. It's very sad.
So a Republican woman is in shock because she showed up at the hospital in Florida with an ectopic pregnancy, and they told her they couldn't help her because of the law, just like we said that they would. So she was so upset she called the governor, because of course when you're in the middle of a medical emergency you want to call a politician, but he didn't pick up the phone. And how many women had their governor's number on speed dial? So after several hours of begging and pleading for them to help her like we said they'd make you do, they finally let her end the ectopic pregnancy before her fallopian tubes burst and she lost all ability to reproduce. And yet, she's trying to blame this on Democrats. But we said that when you showed up at the hospital, they wouldn't ask you who you voted for, what party you belonged to, and they wouldn't ask you what your interpretation of the bill was. They were just going to go by the law. So her care was delayed. I'm very happy she got the care that she deserved, but it was delayed. And there are other women out there whose care is being delayed. And that is putting their lives at risk and their reproductive health care at risk.
Under the very same Trump administration that Floridians helped put back in the White House, they're now struggling to afford eggs, rent, and gas. You couldn't script irony this sharp if you tried. Florida is so broke right now, people are literally financing their groceries like a car note. Florida has officially turned into the second most financially distressed state in America. Of course, only Texas beat them out. When I saw it, I thought, dang. Florida and Texas are in competition with each other to see who can treat their people the worst. See, here's the wild part. A new study found that 25% of Floridians are financing their groceries using buy now, pay later. You heard that right, loans. We finance cars, homes. Some people even do it to furniture. Now it's chicken wings, bread, and milk. Honestly, it doesn't surprise me because when you look at Florida, a huge part of the problem is the elderly. And it's not like grandma can go get a side hustle at Amazon or the grocery store to make up for the money that she misses every month. The elderly don't have that option. It means that they're feeling the squeeze tighter than anybody else. And the squeeze is brutal. People are delaying payment, racking up late fees, filing bankruptcy, or just straight up not paying bills no more. That's not living paycheck to paycheck. That's survival on credit. Let's start with the basics. Everything costs more. Groceries, rent, utilities, even that cheap beer at Publix. Prices are rising faster than the Florida humidity in July. And the people who cheered Make America Great Again at rallies, they're now swiping credit cards just to keep food on the table. This is what happens when you build your entire platform on bigotry and fear. When you spend years attacking immigrants, the very people who visit your state, spend money in your hotels, eat at your restaurants, buy your tacky-ass beach towels, don't act shocked when they stop showing up. And understand, it's not just tourists who aren't coming to Florida. When you squeeze the working class like a lemon, there is no juice left for joy.
Florida, home of the once known alligator Alcatraz, that concentration camp in the Everglades, built by Ron DeSantis, your governor, to look like a tough guy for his hero in the White House. Well, as you all heard last week, U.S. District Judge Kathleen Williams ordered the shutdown of alligator Alcatraz based on environmental laws and the impact on tribal lands. It cost Florida $245 million to build. And now it's going to cost $20 million more to dismantle. That's $265 million that Floridians are on the hook for.
As wallets tighten and communities struggle, loyalty is being tested. Many in Florida who once chanted MAGA are now questioning the cost of their choice. This isn't just about politics. It's about survival, identity, and the future of America's working class.
On today's episode of FAFO, brought to you by Florida's tourism industry. So we all know that our neighbors to the north, Canada, are holding a grudge when it comes to the United States, and rightfully so. And many of them have said forget about abstinence and just decided to use the pull-out method when it comes to tourism here in the United States.
A lot of them will not come because of Trump and what was going on with Canada. They just don't want to come and spend their money here. The cost of living here has changed a lot. Everything went up.
The Grenier family owns Jarabelle. Francois telling us he's not sure what to expect. According to Visit Lauderdale, Canadian visitors are down by 10 to 16% since April, and 13.5% fewer Canadians are flying in. That could translate to an economic loss of up to $90 million.
And this is the combination of the policies as well as the behavior coming from the orange tyrant that's in the office, whether it's tariffs or just threatening to make Canada the 51st state of the United States. And as you just saw in that clip, travel is down 10 to 16% since April, as well as a drop in air travel by 13.6%. And the only thing that I'm aware of that has a bigger drop than that is JLo's popularity. Now, if Canada is already withholding a lot of travel to the United States, I can only just imagine what the rest of the world is doing. And honestly, I don't blame the rest of the world.
A month ago, I told him to be careful because they're going to pick you up. You look Hispanic. You're covered in tattoos. You're a construction worker. They're going to grab you. And he's like, no, I'm Cuban. I'm protected. They can't take me. I'm legal.
Jose Manuel Allende came here legally from Cuba through the freedom flights in the 60s and 70s.
Nothing is better than being MAGA. Here in Florida, let me tell you what we're doing. You see, what happened was Ron DeSantis and all the MAGA legislator here, we kicked out all of the immigrant workforce. We made it clear that they weren't welcome here and kicked them out of the state. That's right. Even some of us MAGA business owners voted to kick out our own workers, and now we cannot fill the work. Oh, but don't you worry, MAGA's on top of things, because right now our wonderful legislator is debating on loosening the child labor laws here, because our genius MAGA plan is to replace the immigrant workforce with our children, our Florida children. Doesn't that make perfect sense and just sound wonderful? The policy we support is actually detrimental to us, but we pass it anyway. Now all the MAGA youth is going to be doing construction on your house. Doesn't that want to make you buy a house in Florida? It's not going to be insured, and it was built by a 10-year-old. What could go wrong?
So unless you just woke up from a coma, you know that Trump has been making good on his promise to deport pretty much everyone. Not just people who are illegal, but even people who have green cards who maybe talked bad about him in a text message, because that stuff is happening. Many of us, prior to this, said, hey, this is going to cause problems, and now those problems are here. For example, Trump's immigration crackdown raises questions for agriculture industry's migrant workforce. Migrants make up a lot of the agriculture, like picking of produce and so forth. One place that has a ton of that is Florida. And while Governor Ron DeSantis is really big on immigration and getting all of these people deported, he also has to deal with the fact that now there are holes that need to be filled in our workforce. But don't you worry, he has a plan. What is that plan, you may ask? Who is this otherwise untapped workforce that's now going to fill the gap left by all of these migrant workers? Well, children, of course. Florida debates lifting some child labor laws to fill jobs vacated by undocumented immigrants. His answer is children. The state's legislature on Tuesday advanced a bill that would loosen child labor laws, allowing children as young as 14 years old to work overnight shifts. If the new laws pass, teenagers would be able to work overnight jobs on school days. They are currently prevented from working earlier than 6:30 a.m. and later than 11 p.m. per state law. I mean, the research shows that starting school earlier leads to kids who don't do as well in school. If you can start a little bit later, and if you can make sure that those children have eaten something, they learn much better. But we're going to throw into the mix, they should get out of school, go home, do their homework, maybe grab some dinner, then head to their overnight job. Work graveyard shift. Finish up at, 6 a.m., run home, grab a quick shower, and then back to high school for all of that learning. Why do we say we need to import foreigners, even import them illegally, when teenagers used to work at these resorts? College students should be able to do this stuff, DeSantis said last week. And hey, I've had family members who are like, yeah, I was out working a full-time job at 13 years old. I had to help provide for the family because that's how things were. You know what that grandfather didn't accomplish during that time? He didn't get an education.
And the red state of Florida, the people are the most financially distressed right now, but they are beaten by Texas. Florida's governor and the Republicans are driving Florida into the ground. These people are struggling to pay their bill. Yes, they voted for this administration. This is a little bit of an FAFO. The governor doesn't seem to care. Do you know that Florida is the one that forked out the money so far from the federal government for alligator Alcatraz? They are on the hook so far 100%. So just know that Florida is the number 2 state where people are struggling financially right now, only to be beaten. The number 1 state is also red, is Texas. By the way, there are 10 top states that are struggling right now. I think there are 1 that is a blue state in the top 10. I think 2 are blue states in the top 15. Just know these red states, the poorest, are going to get it the worst. Blue collar worker, red state. I'm posting every single day about really bad economic dire circumstances for red state.
Tourists are avoiding Florida like it has emotional herpes. Florida tourism is down, beach businesses are dying, and the people are somehow surprised about it. Come to Florida, where the sun burns your skin and the governor burns your identity. It's so politically toxic that even the alligators are switching parties. DeSantis is out here turning Florida into a family-friendly dictatorship. It's like North Korea with Margaritaville decor. He's out here banning books, attacking drag queens, and starting a fight with Mickey Mouse like he's the final boss of the woke Olympics. The man literally lost a fight with Disney. That's like getting beaten up by a piñata. Tourism in Florida has dropped harder than DeSantis' presidential campaign. You remember that? Blink and you missed it. It was like watching a wet sock run for office. The beach bars are empty. Even the piña coladas are asking, is it because I'm fruity? You know things are bad when even retired boomers are thinking of packing up and moving back to New Jersey.
A lot of them will not come because of Trump and what was going on with Canada. They just don't want to come and spend their money here. The cost of living here has changed a lot. Everything went up.
It's no secret Canadian snowbirds haven't been flocking to South Florida lately. President Trump's immigration rules and tariffs have caused controversy in Canada.
The greater Fort Lauderdale is expecting up to 150,000 fewer visitors from Canada. You know, they make up one of the largest groups of international visitors to South Florida.
According to Visit Lauderdale, Canadian visitors are down by 10 to 16% since April, and 13.5% fewer Canadians are flying in. That could translate to an economic loss of up to $90 million.
The bottom line is we all want to make more money and we were ready to serve and be busy, but there's nothing we can do if they don't come.
In Hollywood, Richard's Motel had a lot of cancellations in the spring and summer. The woman on the phone is one of those who canceled.
She says she's been coming here for over 25 years, which she used to feel free. Now she's scared and she no longer feels like...
I would have more than my rent with the opportunity to go out 3 times out of the week. Now the luxury I have right now is to fill the fridge. Trying to buy a house this year, but prices are too high, way out of my price range. I was trying to get engaged with my girlfriend next year and get married and have kids by the end of that year. Get the process started on my slice of the American dream, but now it's been postponed. And that's what the Trump slump is doing to tip workers. I was working on average 4 to 5 days. Now I am lucky if I work 2 times out of the week. And I've been trying to look for another job. I put in many applications online, but apparently it seems like the companies did a hiring freeze because they're not sure about next month's economy.
Florida's economic turmoil isn't just politics, it's personal. Families are struggling, businesses are closing, and many are realizing that the promises made to them never became reality. This is what happens when leadership fails and working people are left behind. It's time to face the truth about what's really happening across America. If this message hits home, don't stay silent. Like, comment, subscribe, and share to spread awareness. And before you go, click the video on your screen to see the next powerful report, uncovering the real impact of today's economic crisis.